Lesson 11. Concentration. You can do it if you believe you can. Definition of concentration. Concentration is the act of focusing the mind upon a given desire until ways and means for its realization have been worked out and successfully put into operation. Two important laws enter into the act of concentration, the mind in any given desire. One is a law of autosuggestion and the other is a law of habit. We have already discussed autosuggestion in the previous lesson. Let us discuss the law of habit. Habit grows out of environment, out of doing the same thing in the same way over and over again. When it's formed, it's like a cement block. They cannot be broken easily. Habit is the basis of all memory training, a fact which you may easily demonstrate in remembering the name of a person whom you have just met, by repeating over and over until you have fixed it permanently in your mind. It's important that an individual is in the right environment. This environment is like food to the person and can create habits. In an environment, you can be influenced by and through the aid of the five senses of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and feeling. A habit is a mental path over which our actions have traveled for some time, each passing making the path a little deeper and a little wider. A piece of paper once folded in a certain way will fold along the same lines the next time. Creating good habits is important to attaining your definite chief aim. We spoke about this in earlier lessons. Spend time each day concentrating on your definite chief aim. Give it time just like you give your phone time, your kids time, your TV time, your music time. What about time dedicated for your definite chief aim? Does it not deserve time or the same importance? Rivers and streams of water cut their courses through the land and thereafter flow along the habit course. The law of habit is in operation everywhere. The best way to get rid of old habits is to create new habits, form new mental paths over which to travel, and the old ones will soon become less distant and in time will practically fill up the disuse. The following are the rules of procedure through which you may form the habits you desire. First, at the beginning of the formation of a new habit, put force and enthusiasm into your expression. Feel what you think. Remember that you are taking the first step toward making the new mental path, that it is much harder at first than it will be afterwards. Make the path as clear and as deep as you can at the beginning so that you can readily see it the next time you wish to follow it. Second, keep your attention firmly concentrated on the new path building and keep your mind away from the old paths, lest you incline toward them. Forget all about the old paths and concern yourself only with the new ones that you are building to order. Third, travel over your newly made paths as often as possible. Make opportunities for doing so without waiting for them to arise through luck or chance. The oftener you go over the new paths, the sooner will they become well-worn and easily traveled. Create plans for passing over these new habit paths at the very start. Fourth, resist the temptation to travel over the older, easier paths that you have been using in the past. Every time you resist temptation, the stronger do you become and the easier will it be for you to do so the next time. But every time you yield to the temptation, the easier does it become to yield again, and the more difficult it becomes to resist it the next time. You will have a fight on at the start, and this is a critical time. Prove your determination, persistence, and willpower now at the very beginning. Fifth, be sure that you have mapped out the right path as your definite chief aim, and then go ahead without fear and without allowing yourself to doubt. Place your hands upon the plow and look not backward. Select your goal, then make good, deep, wide mental paths leading straight to it. Creating positive habit and autosuggestion are necessary to a purpose. Habits allow you to grow and perform. Example, you drive to work every day with the same route. Your mind may be elsewhere and thinking something else because habit is what drives you automatically. Brakes, turns, parks, and it has been created as a habit. Now let's focus on environment. The term environment is a broad field. It consists of books we read, the people with whom we associate, the community in which we live, the nature of the work which we are engaged, the country or nation in which we reside, the clothes we wear, the songs we sing, and most important of all, the religious intellectual training we receive prior to the age of 14 years. If your environment is not to your liking, change it. The first step is to create in your own mind an exact, clear, and well-rounded picture of the environment in which you believe you could best attain your definite chief aim. And then concentrate your mind upon this picture until you transform it into reality. Moving on to concentration, we will describe it as the magic key to success. This magic key is used in one form or another, by followed of new thoughts and all other sects which are founded upon the positive philosophy of optimism. The magic key will unlock the door to riches, it will unlock the door to fame, and in many instances it will unlock the door to physical health, it will unlock the door to education, and let you into the storehouse of all your latent ability. Through the aid of this magic key, we have unlocked the secret doors to all of the world's greatest inventions. The magic key, which is called concentration, will turn failure into success and misery into happiness. Ambition and desire are the chief factors which enter into the act of successful concentration. Without these factors, the magic key is useless. Concentration means the ability, through fixed habit and practice, to keep your mind on one subject until you have thoroughly familiarized yourself with that subject and mastered it. It means the ability to control your attention and focus it on a given problem until you have solved it. It means complete self-mastery. Nothing was ever created by a human being which was not first created in the imagination, through the desire, and then transformed into reality through concentration. Here's a formula for the magic key. Write this down on a white sheet of paper. I am going to become a powerful public speaker because this will enable me to render the world useful service that is needed, and because it will yield me a financial return that will provide me with the necessary material things of life. I will concentrate my mind upon this desire for 10 minutes daily, just before retiring at night, just after arising in the morning, for the purpose of determining just how I shall proceed to transform it into reality. I know that I can become a powerful, magnetic speaker, therefore I will permit nothing to interfere with my doing so. Signed. You now have the magic key. Throughout this course, we have discussed the importance of the mastermind. When two or more people ally themselves in a spirit of perfect harmony for the purpose of attaining a definite end, if that alliance is faithfully observed by all of whom it is composed, the alliance brings to each of us those of whom it is composed. Power that is superhuman and seemingly irresistible in nature. Let's move on to discussing memory. The principle through which an accurate, unfaltering memory may be trained are few and comparatively simple. 1. Retention. The receiving of a sense impression through one or more of the 5 senses and the recording of this impression is in orderly fashion in the mind. This process may be likened to the recording of a picture in the sensitized plate of a camera of Kodak. 2. Recall. The reviving or recalling into the conscious mind of those sense impressions which have been recorded in the subconscious mind. This process may be compared to the act of going through a card index and pulling out a card in which information had been previously recorded. 3. Recognition. The ability to recognize a sense impression when it is called into the conscious mind and to identify it as being a duplicate of the original impression and to associate with the original source from which it came when it was first recorded. This process enables us to distinguish between memory and imagination. These are the 3 principles that enter into the act of remembering. Let's take a look at how we can use them effectively. First, when you wish to be sure of your ability to recall a sense impression, such as a name, date, or place, be sure to make the impression vivid by concentrating your attention upon it to the finest detail. An effective way to do this is to repeat several times that which you wish to remember. Just as a photograph must give an exposure, proper time to record itself on the sensitized plate of the camera, so must we give the subconscious mind to record properly and clearly any sense impression that we wish to be able to recall with readiness. Second, associate that which you wish to remember with some other object, name, place, or date with which you are quite familiar, and which you can easily recall when you wish. As for example, the name of your hometown, your close friend, the date of your birth, etc. For your mind will then file away the sense impression that you wish to be able to recall with the one that you can easily recall, so that when bringing forth one into the conscious mind, it brings also the other one with it. Third, repeat that which you wish to remember a number of times, at the same time concentrating your mind upon it. Just as you would fix your mind on a certain hour at which you wish to arise in the morning, which as you know ensures your awakening at the precise hour. The common feeling of not being able to remember the names of other people, which most of us have, is due entirely to the fact that we do not properly record the name in the first place. When you are introduced to a person whose name you wish to be able to recall at will, repeat that name 4 or 5 times, first making sure that you understood the name correctly. If that name is similar to that of a person whom you know well, associate the two names together, thinking of both as you repeat the name of the ones whose name you wish to be able to recall. The law of association is a most important feature of a well-trained memory. In summary of concentration, learn to fix your attention on a given subject at will for whatever length of time you choose, and you will have learned the secret passageway to power and plenty. You need have no fear of competition from the person who says, "I'm not paid to do this, and I'll not do it." He will never be a dangerous competitor for your job. But watch out for the fellow who remains at his work until it is finished and performs a little more than is expected of him, for he may challenge you at the post and pass at the grandstand.